into a movie so that you can be as comfortable, content, and happy as you possibly can be. And there's going to be struggles along this journey. It's not going to be easy, but it is very simple to do. Now, a lot of people have no idea where they're going. They have no meaning to their life and they're trying to figure out what their purpose is. And it's because of the fact they have no concept of the life movie idea, or they just haven't pushed themselves far enough into their own psyche. Now, those two things are very far from each other, but they all pan out to this one idea. Your life is a movie, and if someone was following you around, watching everything you did, recording it, and made a highlight tape, you could have a best selling movie. And that may not fully be true depending on who you are, but for most of us, it is. Now, why do I say it may not be true? Some people live such a boring at home life where they go to work, they get off, they go home, they heat something up in the microwave, or they Uber or DoorDash some food home. Then they sit on their phones scrolling through TikTok and Instagram, going on YouTube, watching Netflix, and then they go to sleep and repeat. They do nothing outside of going to work just so that they can get their basic necessities, and then they go home and watch other people live their lives. Now, if we take those same people and teach them the life movie concept and have them apply it every single step of the way, they will be able to make great change, become a completely new person, and truly live a life full of meaning, purpose, and direction. And that's what I'm here to teach you guys today. So, first and foremost, you have to understand that your life can be a movie. And there's a few things that get broken down from that. For one, the roles of the people in your life. This is a movie, there's always going to be a director, an author of the story. There's always going to be a main character. There's always going to be side characters. And there's always going to be supporting cast. So you need to know what your role is, who you are, and how you do things, right? Then you need to understand how to make your life a movie, which I'll break down at the end of this video. But I want you to start with understanding this question. If you were able to view your life from a third person perspective at a movie theater, would you want to watch that movie? What type of movie would it be? See, the thing about it is, so many people are living a life that they wouldn't even want other people to watch, but they live it day by day, experiencing the same reality, seeing the same things over and over and over. And they're not happy, they're not proud, they don't do anything, and they're constantly wondering, what is the point? Well, for anybody looking into your life, they're going to say the same thing and they're going to see the same thing. So we need to figure out what type of movie you're currently living. What are the tropes based on the life you're currently living? And what are the things that are going to help you propel yourself forward? And once you get past that, then you need to really ask, is this a movie that I like? Do I want to continue living this? Because I promise you, there's someone up in the Hamptons. There's someone up, even for me in San Angelo, there's someone living over in the Bluffs, one of the richest neighborhoods in this area, and they love every second of their life. There may be hardships, there may be annoyances, there may be frustrations, but they wake up every day saying, God, I love what I do. I love the people I'm around. I love my home. I love my car. I love my family. I love my children. I love everything about my life, and they are living a movie that you would probably be willing to go watch, to see them go out on boats and have a good time with their family, to see them go on these exotic vacations to Europe, Asia, to Zimbabwe, to ride a zebra and see a moose. I doubt there's any moose in Zimbabwe. But the point is, certain people love their life movie. And you need to understand, do you like yours? And if not, you have to be able to change it. And we'll go over the steps soon. And then you need to think about this. If someone were to be watching me day by day, would they want to see what I'm doing? Like, there's people who would love to see what Andrew Tate's doing. There are people who would love to see what Joe Rogan's doing. There's people who would love to see what Charles Oliveira, Israel Adesanya, Ilya Taporia, and all these other people are doing with their lives. And that's why they tune into their YouTube channels, their Instagrams. Like, hell, Beyonce has people knowing everything she does left and right, up and down, but she's living a movie that so many people want to see that she can't be successful. But would people want to see your movie? Would people want to see what you're going through? Would people want to see your struggles, your hardships, your successes, your accomplishments? And if the answer to all of those things are no, you need to make a change. Because again, your life is a movie. At the end of your days, when you die, for 7 seconds, your brain will replay every single memory you had. And how horrible would it be if, when you died, every single memory flashing through your head is the same day over and over? Go to work, get off, DoorDash food, scroll through TikTok, scroll through Instagram, go on Netflix, go to sleep. If that's your reality, if that's your movie, nobody cares. You don't even care because obviously there's certain aspects about you that keep you from actually going out and having a good time, from going and building relationships with people that are gonna help you get out and experience the better side of life. There's certain things that you need to be able to do for your life movie to be interesting enough for you to like it, for other people to want to view it, and for you to be able to actually be proud, have purpose, and be driven. And so now we'll actually start talking about the roles of the characters within the life movie so that you have a better idea of who you are, where you are, and how you even play within other people's life. So, first, we have the author and director. Every movie, every story has an author. Personally, I believe that's God. But God's given us the free will to go out and live a life that we want, whether you choose to follow His plan and purpose or you choose to follow your plan and purpose. And so, we have the author down pat, but the director of your story should be you. And yet, a lot of people live life living based on what other people decide. If you're not directing what you're doing, if you're not directing how your day goes, if you're not directing the actions you take, you're not the director of your life. You're probably a side character or a supporting character, excuse me. So the big thing is the director is the person who goes and builds everything out. The director of any story, any movie, is the one who brings the people together. They're the one who knows what this should look like and looks at the plot points based off the story that was already written. Well, for you, you probably don't even have a story written. You don't know what your end goal is. You don't know what the plot points of that movie are. You don't know the tropes that you're more than likely going to experience now. And so, because you don't have those ideas, because you have no concept of how to do that, you can't be the director in your own life, which then leads us into the main character. If you're trying to make any change within your life and you're not the main character, your movie probably sucks. Imagine going to watch a movie from a third person perspective where the main character's off doing things randomly in another place and you're just sitting here seeing a person scroll through social media. That would be such a boring movie. Oh, another TikTok, another Instagram video. Nobody will want to see that. But who is the main character? The main character is the person who goes through hardship, goes through struggle to improve themselves, overcome hardship, and ultimately become an entirely new person. These are the people who live exorbitant lives and typically are the ones who are well known, well received, and have all the ability and capability to experience the best sides of life. Now, think about any story, whether the main character was a hero, anti hero, or villain, they still had something that caused them to need to make a change. Once they made that change, then they went through hardship after hardship after hardship, every step of the way getting better, learning more, improving on themselves. And then they get to the big climactic point where it's do or die, win or lose, and they find a way to overcome. And then ultimately, there's that resolution where they reach that end goal, the end of the story, where they've accomplished whatever they set out to do. And that's the arc of the main character. That's who the main character is, and that's what they do. Then there's the side characters. These are the people supporting the main character within the movie, within the story, within the journey. These are the people who come in and they should be your friends or acquaintances or coworkers, whatever it may be. But these are the people who support you. These are the people who help you. These are the people who push you to be better, do better, have more, and ultimately reach that resolution and dream outcome so that you're able to, or the main character at least, is able to go out and be the best they can possibly be. Now, I'm a big anime nerd, so for me, I think Naruto with the supporting characters of Sasuke and Sakura. I think, Yusuke with can't remember Yusuke's homies like Kurama and the redhead dude. Uh, but for any anime, Midoriya with Shoto and Bakugo, they're all people who are meant to overcome a lot of things. And then they have those side characters, those secondary characters, the supporting ones who are coming in to help that main character fulfill their character arc, fulfill their character journey, and go on a mission to overcome a hardship that none of them are capable of in the beginning. And then you have your supporting characters. Now, these are genuinely just the people who are in the background. And for most people, that's probably you. You go to the gym, nobody notices you. You go out to eat, nobody says, hey, hi, hello. You're at home by yourself, scrolling through social media, and nobody texts you. Your phone don't blow up, your shit is dry, right? You're a supporting character in so many people's lives where it's like, oh yeah, that's Billy over there. What do you know about him? Nothing. Me and him work together. Oh, that's Susie over there. What about her? Yeah, I have no clue. There's a lot of people who choose or unintentionally become supporting characters in the stories of the people around them, wishing that they could be a main character, wishing they could be that one person in the office who's well received, liked by everybody, and hits good marks and numbers every single month. They're the people who are sitting back wondering, why is my life like this and what am I meant to do? The supporting characters are simply people who are there because they happen to be there. And I don't want you to have to live as a supporting character because it's not fun. Nobody wants to be in that reality. But if you don't choose to actually start being the director of your own life and living as the main character within your own story, within your own movie, and moving through hardship to reach the resolution, then you will always be a supporting character or even a side character. So now, how do you actually make your life into a movie? First and foremost, it comes down to mindset and fully accepting now I'm going to be the director and I'm going to be the main character, which takes a really big mindset shift because you're going from either a supporting character, a side character, but someone who isn't directly in control of what's happening in your life and not being someone who constantly goes through hardship to overcome difficulty, right? So you need to change your mindset. You need to first accept, okay, with this journey, there's going to be pain, there's going to be discomfort. I'm going to mess up, I'm going to fail. There's a lot of things that I have to go through and grow through in order to get to where I want to be. So once you have your mind set on that and you're saying, under no circumstance am I going to give up on this journey, I'm going to make sure I get where I want to get, then from there, you need to actually figure out what is the story about? What is the end conclusion? Start with the end in mind. So I always talk about the dream outcome. You need to know what the end story is going to be. Are you going to have this house? Are you going to have this car? Are you going to have this, that, the next thing, whatever? You need to know everything down to the minute detail. You should be able to picture it in your mind, and you should know once this character has gone through all these things, this is where they're going to be. You need to tell the story of your own future from the present moment. 5 years from now, where are you going to be? What house are you going to have? What car are you going to have? What is your income going to be? You need to break down everything to the most minute detail. Once you break everything down to the most minute detail, then you need to start looking at the story. Okay, this is who this character currently is. At the end of this story, who is this person supposed to be? What have they overcome? What are their accomplishments? What are the things they're struggling with, even at the resolution point? What are the things that they're trying to work to now that they've gotten to the end of the story? What are the things this person had to develop within themselves to get themselves to that resolution? Build a character out. And I'm going to be teaching very soon on how to build your own personal manifesto. I'm going to be breaking down how to specifically create the character of your story, but you need to start looking at, if this is the goal, if this is the outcome I want to reach, what are all the things that this person must have in order to be able to maintain and attain this dream outcome? Once you have that, Then you need to begin playing that character, and it's going to take work. It's going to take effort. It's going to be a slow burn progression. You're going to have to work day in and day out to really dial in who that character is. You need to learn how to think like that person. You need to learn how to dress like that person. You need to learn how to talk like that person. You need to learn how to articulate like that person. You need to know how to go through environments and interact with people in a way that only that character would be able to do. And once you're able to really know this person inside and out, dress just like them, talk just like them, act like them, walk like them, think like them, go throughout your day like them, interact with people like them, go to the places they go, do the things they do, be the person they are, then you know you're on the right way. You're going down the correct journey, and you're finally living a life movie worth watching. Now, if you want the most in depth breakdown, getting worksheets on how to make this happen and how to create this within your own life, look at the link in the description. My course will be there. Just go ahead, tap that, go ahead and pay the few bucks, and you'll be able to start your journey of creating your own life movie and making the best of yourself and creating the best version of yourself step by step. You stay smart, stay safe. I love you. And hopefully, this series on creating the character of your life and building out your life movie brings value and success to you. I appreciate you for watching. Stay smart, stay safe. I love you, and I'll see you next time.